What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about the Naughty Dog news story that's going around the internet today, and that's that they have officially left Uncharted, and that they probably will be leaving The Last of Us very, very soon. Now, there's a little bit of wiggle room, right, in what Neil said with The Last of Us, but Uncharted, and I don't know if this is like definitive. I mean, there's always like the development talk once the game is over, right? When Uncharted 4 came out, I don't remember too much what the word on the street, officially from them was when that game ended. I think we all knew Uncharted was done with them, and in fact, the rumors, and I've covered actually every single step of the rumors for Uncharted over the last couple of years, it seems like there will be a new Uncharted game, and Naughty Dog is basically going to get them started, right? We've heard the rumor that they'll kind of be part of like the opening phase, and they're going to hand it off to a new studio, and then that new studio would kind of take it from there. So we had kind of figured out or just assumed that Naughty Dog was, officially done. I don't remember if they had ever said, like, well, one day maybe we could come back. I feel like there was almost that. Maybe even with Lost Legacy, there was that kind of, like, lingo there. But it's not all that surprising. To be honest with you, the era, specifically of, like, Uncharted 1 through 3, that era is done, right? And many people in that era are no longer there, including, and maybe most importantly, the tippity top, right? The people that literally are at the head of what made, I would say, Uncharted 1 through 3 so special. 4 obviously was just a dramatic change in terms of, Neil and Bruce taking over. And, that was also kind of a different era, right? Bruce is no longer there either. And so I'm not really sad about Naughty Dog, leaving it behind. You'd think I would almost be more sad, or, this is a game that you can say, like, well, Naughty Dog made this game, right? When you talk about games, getting more games in the franchise, are you more okay with it if it's a different studio versus the one it originally came from? Honestly, for when it comes to Uncharted, I oddly enough, and it's one of my favorite, if not my favorite franchises of all time, I kind of feel pretty good about, like, I would like to see it continue, and I don't see that big of a problem if it continues and it's not Naughty Dog, and at this point, that's absolutely going to be the case. And then Neil talked about The Last of Us. Now, I do think there's a little bit of withholding of information. We had heard rumors from a very, very trustworthy leaker, at least in the movie department, right? The movie industry. But he had said that The Last of Us Part 3 is being made, like, right now. And I really do trust him. He gets it's actually unbelievable how many things he gets right. I actually made an entire video on that one as well. So I do think Neil is kind of dancing around it a little bit, but I do think his message, his general message, I do feel like it's sincere. I do think it's real, where number one, they're going in it the exact same way, right? They're going into 3 the same way as 2, where they don't feel pressure. There's not like immense pressure on them to do it. Now, I would say because of the show's success, like right now, the last couple of weeks, there's probably a little bit more pressure. But you know what? Honestly, I kind of assume he means in general. I kind of assume he means when The Last of Us 2 came out, was there pressure from Sony to make 3 2020, June of 2020? The answer was probably no, and I do believe him. And so again, he talks about how we're going to do it the same way. If there's a story to tell that we think is powerful, we'll do it. If there's not, there's not. And only this time, it really sounds like, well, number one, if there's not a story to tell, The Last of Us is done. Honestly, I guess after the multiplayer, or the multiplayer kind of being separate, but The Last of Us would be finished. This one also, I will honestly say, I'm not all that disappointed. I think a lot of people want Naughty Dog to make brand new things, new IPs. I think they will. They could already be doing it, as we speak. But again, I do think there's a little dancing around, because I do think 3 is happening, but I do think the message is true, where basically when 3 comes out, and besides the multiplayer, and there'll be the TV show. I mean, there's a lot of Last of Us still, to come over the coming years. But once 3 is done, it's over, and they'll start moving on to new IPs, or new IPs kind of on the side, and that'll be the next thing after it. And I think that's good. I mean, it's kind of the thing we've talked about with whether it be Halo or whether it be Uncharted or The Last of Us. Do you know when to end it? Do you know when to stop and say, okay, we had a good run, and we're going to stop now, and then we're gonna keep making new things, because it's how we got here. they made a new thing in Uncharted. They made a new thing in The Last of Us. So, and it's not even like a sucking up to Naughty Dog kind of thing. I believe that kind of for games in general. Don't overstay your welcome, right? Make what you want to make, and then when you feel you're at that point where you're done, step away. And a lot of times they're not allowed to, right? Because the higher-ups tend to not let them. But, as Neil says, Sony, being their publisher, they let them do pretty much whatever they want. So I believe him. I mean, I know there's some stuff with Neil, and trust me, I feel some stuff for Neil Druckmann as well. But I do think, Last of Us 3 is it. I do think it's going to happen, and I think that's it. And then they move on, and I do think that's the right idea. Don't overstay your welcome. And you could argue, some people could argue, they already did that with 2, right? With the divisiveness of 2, and then 3. If it's even more divisive, if they make even more people upset or continue to add to that rift that's already going on, then yeah, you could say, definitely don't overstay your welcome. Please make something else so we can all stop arguing, right? So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.